Welcome, guys. We are in our own podcast studio. The Pen by Marina Pearl is open and you can start to book the space. We are on one of the sets. I'll let Sheen talk a little bit more about the set.
Hi, everyone. Honestly, it's our very first time recording here, so very excited. This is the Feminine Touch. We've made it very pink because I think that's one thing we couldn't find whenever we were trying to look for a podcast studio. And we wanted it to look very comfortable, almost like you're in someone's living room.
Mm-hmm.
So we got those big couches, pink accents everywhere, pink mugs and everything. So yeah, we're very excited to be here.
Yeah. So if you're looking to start a podcast, if you're a content creator and you want to come and create in this space, we'll leave the link to book in the description box. But as you guys will see, because we probably would have placed an ad before this video, we also have another set which is less feminine-y, girly, and is more like sleek, sexy, professional, masculine, if it may be.
Yes.
So you can book that as well. The podcast studio is open for all genders. It's not just for females, as well as the workspace. It is also open for all genders, not just women. So please do come and join. And in today's discussion, we are going to be talking about how we arrived in these seats.
Yes. I think first of all, we need to say happy 2nd year anniversary.
Happy 2nd year anniversary.
Isn't that crazy? I don't think we properly celebrated. We're so
just
focused in this. Yeah. But yeah, it's our 2nd year running. I think if we go way back to when the idea started, why did we start this? I'll let you answer that question.
Okay, cool. So, I don't know if we've told this story before, but I moved to Dubai in January 2023. And what was happening was people out here in Dubai, like my followers and stuff, were like, oh, let's meet up. And I was like, there's no way I can meet with everyone individually. Like, that's just like too much effort to do that. So I was like, I was telling you about it. Like, I guess, what was your approach? And like, did you go to any like particular networking events for like women that you like, that you could recommend? And you were like, no. I was like, oh, really? There's no groups? And it was like, not really. Because what there is in Dubai is a lot of mum groups.
Yeah.
A lot of mum groups. There are like racial groups. Like there's Black girls in Dubai.
Countries as well.
Yeah, like Indian women connect. There's a lot of that stuff. But if you just kind of want a diverse community of women professionals, there hasn't really been like the perfect community that we found anyways. And so, yeah, I was kind of just saying like, I don't know. I was like, and then I think you might have mentioned, should we do like a meet and greet type of thing?
I was pushing for the fan meetup. I do remember I was telling you, let's do like a joint fan meetup. Let's just see how that goes. And then you were like, no, I want to give value. I don't want us to just like hang out with people. Yeah, which was a good idea, to be honest. And that's when we initially thought, let's do a networking brunch so people can come meet each other. And did we have it?
No, we put out this poster that was like, meet up, and we had both of our pictures.
Yeah.
If I find it, I put it on the screen. And then we had so many people register. So we were like, oh, okay, let's actually turn this into a thing. And then we were like, yeah, let's turn this into a thing. And then when did the name...
So then I remember I was tasked with finding a name in terms of our split of task. And I kept thinking, you know what, because French is my first language and I think I always love names that have a bit of a French part in it. So I kept thinking, how do we do it? And I knew we wanted something that can be abbreviated. So then it's cool and short. And then I kept thinking, and I searched for words that are English and French, and then the word professionnel came up.
Is that actually how it happened?
So yeah, but you know, there's shepreneurs, right? There's CEO. And I was like, this is nice, but how can we maybe put a French turn to it, twist to it? And I was asking ChatGPT, give me some words that are French and English that have something to do with she. And then there was a lot of like Lpreneurs, and I was like, we don't want to just deal with entrepreneurs. At that point, both of us were in corporate jobs as well. So we wanted it to be a bit more inclusive, and we're like, okay, professional. And then do you remember we did a whole list of like professional network, professional circle, different things. You don't remember? I'm going to try and find it from our WhatsApp.
Okay.
And then we thought, oh, pen, because PEN, the
abbreviation
pen
worked.
Is more memorable.
Yeah.
So that's how we came up with the name, did the brunch. Me and you went to Waitrose to do the catering.
Yeah, literally did the catering ourselves. We set up ourselves. It was very much DIY, but it was so fun. It was so good. And yeah, some of you watching may be from the community, so you would have seen how we've kind of like progressed who spoke at our first event? Just us?
It was just us.
Just us. And then I was really adamant on removing myself from like being a speaker at the event. Because I think with me, I don't know, I just kind of like decentering myself sometimes. Because I feel like when you decenter yourself, first of all, it's very stressful to run an event and also be the speaker at the event. It's extremely stressful because you're thinking about like what you have to say, but then you're also like, okay, you need to take pictures. Okay, where's the food? Where's the flowers for the guests? It's too much. So I was just like, events are a lot already. Like I really want to remove myself and like bring in other women. And I also was very adamant on like, I didn't want this to be a place where people were coming to for us. We wanted people to come for each other.
For the community.
And the community. And then, you know, if you like the speaker, then great. And so we slowly phased out of being the speakers of the event. And I loved that because I could actually enjoy the events as well.
Absolutely. And I also think there's only so much we can teach the community, right? And we wanted them to have a more holistic view of what they can learn and develop themselves. So that's why we brought in the experts rather than us trying to do everything at the same time.
Yeah.
And then over the years, so that was our very first event.
Over the year. It was only 1 year at this point.
It's 2 years now.
Yeah, now it's 2 years.
Over the year.
A year ago.
You want us to go back. Yeah, we did a whole year. In that year, every month we tried to do something. We even had a boat party.
Oh, sorry.
Don't be saying.
Yeah, no, okay, let me tell you, this thing with events and stuff, no, because this is for all the professionals, entrepreneurs, people who are out there, you know, doing stuff. I want to be as candid as possible. 1, free events do not attract the best people, okay? So if you really want to make sure that you're building a community and you want the right people to turn up, you should 101% put a pay barrier because it will remove people who aren't serious. It will remove freeloaders. This is not even just for in-person events, just in general. Like even when you're running like webinars or whatever it is that you're doing, when it's free, the quality of people you cannot control for. But when you put a price on things, I feel like it filters.
And also when it's free, a lot of people register and don't turn up. So then your numbers are never right. Whereas when someone has paid, it's very likely
there's a commitment.
They're coming. At least 98% sure they're coming.
Yeah. Whereas when you do a free event, maybe expect 30%.
Yeah.
Like literally. Even times when we've given out free tickets to people, maybe we've given out like 12 free tickets, only maybe 3 people of those 12. So free events were not it. The boat event, I think the reason why I didn't like it is because I'm such a value, like I always want to give value. And that was more like, it was just a social, but first of all, it was too long on that boat. 3 hours was
and you're stuck in the middle of water at that point. You can't get out.
Yeah, you can't get out. We attracted a lot of new people because the tickets were really cheap, I guess. But then the food ran out so quickly because certain people just sat and just ate.
People didn't realize that the food was for everybody.
So I don't remember eating. I don't think I even got a slice.
We didn't. We each got one and then that was it.
That was it. So that was stressful. And yeah, I think I just preferred I think like there are certain people who may be able to host social events better.
Yeah.
But I don't think that was for us. That was not something that I particularly enjoyed. So we tried that. And it was like, no more of that. We tried free events and we was like, yeah, no more of that. And I think it's so important because like when people come to your event, you want them to want to come back. And that's why it's so important to attract the right people. And so we tried that. And then we got to a point where I guess we were just like, where are we going with this?
Yeah, we were like, we don't want to be the events girls.
Right.
Because we were doing great events and we did start to get known for always giving value at our events. And you would always learn something. People would come with their pen and paper. And we really liked our events. I feel like the quality kept getting better. We were getting more and more people every time. So we liked it. But then both of us were also at the beginning of our own entrepreneurial journey. Both of us quit our jobs. So we were a little bit like, we can't keep doing events. And the problem with the events is that a whole month you're preparing for this event. You're getting it ready, find the venue, find the photographer, find the speakers.
The food.
And then do the marketing. Now get people to buy, and then you'll keep doing the marketing. Then the event happens and immediately you need to start planning the next event now.
Yeah.
And the margin on events is so small.
I was going to say that. I was going to say that. Listen, if you see people doing events business, let me tell you, we actually had it so good because Sheen did a good job at trying to get us free venues, right? And usually a lot of the time, the venue's going to eat up the majority of your costs. So even though we had like probably one of the biggest line items, usually free, it's still so expensive. Like getting food is so expensive. The videographer and camera person, always one of the biggest line items. Like it's so expensive. And like you also, because you want to have this balance of you want it to be packed. So you don't want to overcharge on the price. But then like it's not that profitable. So we made a profit from every event, but it's not like...
It didn't move the needle in any way.
And all of that has been reinvested anyways. It's not like we were like, oh, we're cashing out from events. Like,
we never got anything.
And I think we were just getting tired of like, is this what it's going to be?
What is this? Yeah.
Yeah. And so one feedback, so we tried a lot to get feedback. And one feedback that we kept getting was women were flying in to try to find job opportunities.
Yeah, that was the last event where the idea came out, isn't it? And I think we realized in that one event, we had someone who flew in from Canada, someone from Amsterdam, someone from Australia. And they one of them was with their suitcase. They literally landed
off the plane
straight to the event, and they booked the ticket to the event before they booked their flight tickets because they thought, this is it. This is how I found a job in Dubai. And then one thing we kept hearing is how unfortunately, a lot of people were struggling with finding a job in Dubai. Some people have been laid off. Some people don't like where they are. Some people just want to move to Dubai for a better life. And we felt very kind of like we don't provide that kind of value at all. So this is a gap that we are not fulfilling at the moment. And then you had the idea of let's try and do that. Let's try and do recruitment. How can we be the bridge between open job vacancies and our community?
Yeah.
Because we have this whole roster of incredible women who are from different parts of the world. A lot of them, very qualified as well. So then we thought, why don't we become that bridge? And then that journey.
The fact that you're laughing already. So what was happening behind the scenes is that women were like getting job opportunities because in our group chat, if someone was, at their workplace, there was a job opportunity, they would post it in the chat. So there was a little success stories here and there.
Yeah, people were meeting each other.
Yeah. So we were like, oh, why don't we actually just make this a thing? But man, it is difficult. People find it difficult to get jobs in Dubai for a reason. And I think one of the things I learned from someone who we were speaking to when we were trying to get a bit more immersed in the space is that the majority of job applications, I think the stat was maybe like 80% don't even make it public. Like it's all like referrals, people who know people, and that's how you kind of bring people in. So maybe the 20% of jobs that are available that you see online, and also with those things that you see online, like LinkedIn could have posted that job 10 minutes ago, thousands of applications.
Yeah.
Thousands of it. So we knew that there was a problem there because we also would speak to people who were hiring and they would say like, even though there were thousands of applications, 99% of people are not even qualified for the job. You get a lot of people who kind of automate the process of applying for jobs. So they apply, they have no clue what the job is about. They are not qualified whatsoever. And what they will also do is they will just like compete on price. So they'll be like, I'll work for 100 dirham, just hire me. Like people were so desperate. So we knew that from both sides of the market, the people who were employing people were struggling to find good quality talent. And then on the other side, people were looking for jobs. So we were like, surely we can bridge this gap.
There's so much demand. And we were like, we know so many people as well. We thought, let's give it a try. Okay. And I think our approach was right. So what we started doing was speaking to people we knew who were already in the industry, who are in the market. And we kept approaching different people, like some recruiters. We approached recruiters. We need to talk about that. Some recruiters. We talked to people who manage networks of HR. Yeah. We spoke to actual HR people. People who are actually hiring for their companies, trying to understand where is the problem. And then we even came up with an incredible idea, right? We were thinking we could also do a package where we help people who are moving from abroad, especially expats that get given like a big senior role. Usually their families struggle to adapt here. So we were like, we can even do like a whole move and settle kind of package to help them settle into the country. And we thought we had a great idea and the need is there. But for some reason, it was like hitting our head against the wall every single time. And then we kind of got a little bit of a ray of hope when we met this one company where they were a little bit interested, and they have a lot of hiring across different industries. And they said that they had one short project, which was very country specific in Africa. And Lamide was like, oh, let's help them for free. So we show them, we give them value, and we show them how we can execute it. And then they will be able to give us more things to do on a paid basis. And then what happened, Lamide?
And I spent so much time making sure that we got enough applications and making calls and doing all of the work, sent it across.
And we got a lot of people applying.
A lot of people applied.
And we even filtered through the applications.
We did. We did so much work for it. Sent it across. Then someone said they were going to send it to this person. And then
we kept waiting.
Time went and I was like, so we haven't heard back.
It was months.
Yeah, I was like, call them. And
let's check.
What did they say?
I called them. They were like, oh, what is this about?
It's not even funny.
It's not funny.
Pissed.
They're like, oh, we don't remember this. And they were like, oh yeah, we shelved that project.
I was so pissed.
Wow.
And I think that was kind of like a little bit of a nail in the coffin of just like,
not for us.
I don't think we are the right people to do this. And I kind of wanted to talk about that because I think it's so difficult sometimes knowing when to quit and when to keep going. So when do you know like, okay, time to pack it up, or actually no, let's keep going?
You know, that's such a good question. I ask this to a lot of my guests on the show because I feel like even for me personally, a lot of times you think, am I giving up because it's too difficult? Or am I giving up because I need to now pivot to something else?
Right.
And, you know, I think it's on a case-by-case basis. I think on this case, for example, we got bored of the events with Pen, but we never said, let's just give up on Pen, let's close it. We said, let's see what else can we do. But with this one, given that we spoke to people, we couldn't get any traction. We tried to do something for a company. That went bust immediately. Then we couldn't find any leads to hold on to. And I think a big indicator for me is when you lose momentum. Like even us personally, every week we had one call. And on Monday, I'd be like, Lamide, what should we do about the recruitment? You'd be like, did you follow up? I'd be like, okay, let me do it. And I'd be like, what should we do? Like, I don't know, let's talk to this person. Like nothing was happening. And I think if you lose interest, that's a very big indicator that maybe this is not for you right now and just find something else. But what about you? How do you approach this decision?
I think also with that decision, it was like, what was our leverage that we had that meant that we were the right people to carry out that particular task? Like, yes, we had the community of women who were kind of looking, but I guess on the other hand, when it came to finding the right employers, it was just like, we didn't really have any leverage points. We
don't know that world.
Yeah, like we just.
And both of us got our jobs from the UK and moved here.
And also we had this keeps making noise, I'm going to put this down. We had such an easy ride into Dubai, the both of us. And we've spoken about this earlier on in the channel, so you can go check out some of the other videos. We had such an easy ride that it was almost like, God, I don't know. I just don't think we were the right people. But we tried. And we even brought on a couple of people who were doing reviews of like CVs, literal people who were recruiters into the space to try and do what we couldn't do. But honestly, we just it just wouldn't work. And it was just like, we're no longer excited about this. And I think that's important because moving on to the pen, right? Because we kind of touched on this a little bit with Stephen Bartlett. Because remember, we were going to go on another idea again. And again, we weren't connected to it. And so we were just like, no. So how did the idea for the pen come about?
So I think you and I started saying, oh, we need to give more time to pen. We're not prioritizing it. And that's why nothing is happening. And then we kept paying for the license and having to renew all these expenses. And
I remember I was like, if nothing, because we renewed the license,
she yelled.
And I said, I am not paying this again if one, it can't pay for itself. Because we went out of pocket to pay for that license. Like, if it can't pay for itself and we're not actually doing anything exciting with pen, we're going to shut it down.
Yeah. Lamide said we have 1 more year. I felt like it was a ticking bomb at this time. She was like, we have 1 more year. And if nothing is happening, we shut it down next year. And I was like, you know what? It's fair. It's very fair. And I think both of us we were having calls, but nothing was happening. We're not talking about anything. And then
just gossiping.
just gossiping, catching up on life.
Yeah.
Then I told Lamide, you know what my dream is? Do you remember? I was like, my dream since I was a kid was to have this one space that has a library, a coffee shop, a co-working space where people can work from. And then eventually that dream evolved to also have a podcast studio, because now that's what I do for a living. And I was like, why don't we do it? Why don't we do something? I was like, why don't we go big? And you were like, that's a lot bigger than where we are right now. You were like, is there something in the middle we can do? I was like, why dream small? If we want to give it 1 year, let's just go big or go home at this point.
No, do you know what maybe this was after, because I remember we were like, let's do a huge conference.
Oh yeah, that was before
big conference,
the summit.
And then we were like, what do we want to go big on? Do we want to go big on an event, or do we want to go big for a space?
Yes.
I think we would weighing up those two things.
Yeah, because you said which we can't do both.
Yeah.
If we're going to plan this year, we can't do both. Otherwise, we're going to do the event, and then next year we do this. And I was like, but this is more long-term. I see longevity with this. I see it becoming a business that runs without us very quickly. And I was like, let's just try this one. Let's go. And then we started thinking about it. And you said, okay, given that this is all of our strengths as well, right? Both of us have podcasts. We've been running a community for a while. We're like, let's bring all of this together into a co-working space and a podcast studio. And at the time we thought we'll fundraise.
Well, yeah. So I guess we took that idea. We're like, okay, yeah, let's. I'm not even sure why I said yes to it.
You mulled over a lot,
but
to be
I
honest.
was just like, okay, let's just try. I guess I need to go back to my
Lamide
diary
was
and
not
see.
fully in it.
I was.
You did not believe in it at the beginning.
I don't know if I didn't believe in it, but it wasn't my dream.
Yeah.
Right. This was a dream that you wanted to do. So now I guess I'm going to have to come along for the ride. However, typically, Sheen is a dreamer. She always, let's do this, where is the strategy? What are we actually, like, how
That's
does
what
this
you're here
actually
for.
work? So I was like, she's going to run along with this big dream. Okay, whatever. I have to be there to make sure that we can actually get something going.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I remember like when she started talking about the podcast, I was kind of like, okay, maybe I'm kind of getting into it. And so I got ChatGPT to draw up like what the space would look like in terms of like podcast room, this and that. And guys, if I can show you that and you see the space today, it's crazy how much like this resembles that drawing. So what we decided to do was like, okay, we need to do the space and stuff like that. So then we started going commercial real estate shopping.
Yeah, we went to see some of the spaces. Again, that's one of your strengths, real estate. So we were like, let's see, how much is it? Because the number one thing would be to figure out how much will this cost us. And obviously we were not going to go out of pocket. Penn did not have that much money. So we started looking and we realized that because for us, we started comparing as well what is already on the market. And I feel like location is something that a lot of people don't have as a strength.
Right.
So we wanted to be central. We started going to Business Bay. We went to see some of the spaces. And guys, when I tell you, we were visiting pantries at this point.
Bruh, it was something. And it was like, when we started to see the price of the spaces that we wanted, we were like, okay, we are going to need to get money from somewhere.
Yeah.
So then we created our pitch deck and then we started running it through our friends.
Let's go with how long that pitch deck took.
I don't know why the hell it took so. But you know what? It was a refining process for what we want, because that's really how we ended up with what we have right now. Because we were refining like, okay, do we really need this? Should we really have that? Blah, blah, blah. So we were refining it. But it took forever because we were just, I don't know, maybe we didn't really want to create the deck. And
I think the problem was that, first of all, you were not fully convinced yet about the idea. So, and I was just a bit like, oh my God, fundraising. Where's the head? Where's the tail of this? How do we get it done? We had to do all the financials. And these are things we've never done before. Put together the financials of a commercial real estate place. So then it took forever. And both of us as well were already busy with work. So it took forever. Then the pitch deck finally was done. Then again, I think this is something I strongly recommend doing, which is we started scheduling calls with people that are either in the investment space or who have raised money in the past. And then we started showing them the pitch deck, and we got some really valuable feedback, which made us even further think about the things we were not thinking about, and which has helped us now with the partnership that we have made to think about what are the different ways we want to split this. And then we started pitching. The good thing is, unanimously, everybody told us it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Nobody said, I'm not sure. Everyone said it's a great idea. It's both your strengths and there is a demand for it in Dubai. It was more about, we are not asking for a lot of money where we can go to VCs. We were asking for a little amount of money. And the people that would give that money are not necessarily people who want to invest in a business, a normal running business rather than a startup idea.
Yeah.
So we were in that limbo phase of like, we need to find some philanthropic woman who wants to give us money.
Yeah. And I think we didn't really have a good, like, especially when you're like going out to pitch and stuff, you also have to understand how you're going to pay back that money. And if you're going to give equity, and is it going to be debt and all of this stuff. And we were just like, I was just getting to the point where I was just like, this is way beyond us, because we're not doing this full time as well. And we both have other stuff going on. This is way beyond us. And so I think we just this deck all
before
the time.
You get there, Stephen Bartlett happened before. When we were still fundraising, Stephen Bartlett happened. Yeah.
Okay. So then Stephen
I was
Bartlett,
in the UK. Where were you?
Maybe Nigeria?
Yeah, you were in Nigeria and I was in the UK. And we saw on his stories. Okay, go tell the story.
You can go.
Okay, so I saw on his story that he posted this. It was a Friday and he was like, today, anyone who wants to fundraise, who is looking for money for a sick project, email me. I'm going to spend this whole weekend personally reviewing all the emails.
Yeah.
And I'm going to choose some people to invest in. And I was like, Lamide, we're going to email him from every single email we have. And at this point, I've met him. I had a picture with him.
Yeah.
And I was like, listen, let's just write this whole email where we say you're Nigerian, you're his Nigerian sister. I've met him. And we wrote, to be fair, we wrote a solid email. It took us a lot. And
you know what? Because at this point, because we had worked on the deck so much, we had a relatively good deck.
It was a good deck.
Yeah.
It was our final deck anyway. We never reworked it after that. So then we wrote that email. We sent it out across all the emails. And I remember I'm on the train.
We messaged him too. It was like, we're going to message him.
Yeah. I sent everything. On DM, on email, personal email, work email, LinkedIn. Pen email, LinkedIn, everywhere. We stalked him. And then I was on the train in London. I remember I was sick as well. And I got this email and I just saw Stephen Bartlett and I was like, huh? And I opened it and the first line is what I saw, right? Where he was like, I would back. Wait, was it back or bet?
I'd bet on you both.
I'd bet on you both. And I was like, and then I called you immediately and we were like, oh my God, he just replied. Bartlett. So he said he liked both of us as founders and he said he saw the strengths in both of us, but he didn't think that this idea was scalable. And he said he can see bigger things for us rather than this.
Yeah.
Which was very kind.
Yeah.
And he suggested more doing something along the line of doing incubator.
An incubator where we can take equity in the startups that were happening within the space. And by the way, he was absolutely right. Because if you're an investor and you're looking for outsized returns, a physical space like this is going to be a lot more difficult. It's not like investing in tech, right? No, so he was absolutely right in what he was saying. So we were like, okay, well, if Stephen Bartlett is going to back us, maybe we do just kind of adapt the idea for what he was saying, because we were actually thinking at the time about like having external people come in. It
would be
and like
phase 2, remember, where we would do like a small incubator. It was in our plans.
It wasn't our plans, but he wanted us to kind of make that the main focus. And I remember he also asked us, like, do we have people on our board of directors who...
No, so first he only said that. He said, send me a revised pitch deck.
Yeah.
We sent the revised pitch deck. Then he came back to us saying, do you have someone on your board of directors or a third co-founder that could be someone who has experience in incubator world?
And then we were like, we have friends. Yeah,
we said a whole list.
Well, like, we do have friends, but it just kind of died down again because we were just like, but I think I was just like, do we actually really want to do this?
Then we asked the question. We were like, also bringing on a third co-founder that we don't know and bringing them on purely for the technical skill.
Managing just Sheen is just enough. I'm like, add another person, please, cannot do that.
Anyway, and also just the idea of having to bring someone for skills that we don't have also means that are we the best people to be doing this or not? So then that kind of like raised an eyebrow for both of us. And I had that nagging feeling. You had the feeling. Then we said it out loud and we were like, okay, so we are both in agreement. I don't think it's worth it at this point because I understand where he's coming from and I understand his idea probably would be better, but I don't think it is something that, and our heart was not in it.
No, I think it is the case. It's not even that his idea would be better. It makes sense for him as an investor for scalability, but we were also trying to build something for our community. And what he wanted us to do was not for our community.
No.
So it's like we were kind of losing the heart of why we actually started this in the first place, because another feedback point that we kept getting from the women. So basically, with all the iterations that we've had, it was all from the feedback that the women wanted. So one thing that they really wanted was jobs. So it's like, okay, let's try the recruiting thing. Then another thing they would kept saying for the events that they wanted was more networking. It was always, we want more networking. So we're like, should we just put on networking events just purely for networking kind of thing? But then having our own space is 24/7 networking with the women, right? And then we can also host our events. So it was just kind of like, this is not solving any issue that the women that we started this for had. Yeah. So then we were just like, nah.
We're like, no thanks.
And then it kind of died down. It dwindled for
but it dwindled for a very short time. But then Lamide said the best thing. You said, for me, the things that have always worked very well is finding the right partner to do something.
Yeah, because you were like, what did you say? She came and she was like, we're not giving our all to this. Like, if we're not going to take this seriously, I guess you were kind of like with the ultimatum now of like, we're not taking it seriously. We're not putting any time in. I was like, yeah, that's true. And then
but we kept pushing, cancelling calls,
we
right?
Were. I think at this point we were like, okay, like the calls, it was kind of an inconvenience.
Yeah.
Like, it was an inconvenience. So then she was kind of like, okay, we're not actually taking this seriously. And I was like, true. And then I just sitting there and I was like, you know what? And I've said this a lot this year, like, everything that I'm doing right now that is doing well, it's because I've been partnered with people. And when we were trying to think about all the ways to do this, it's like, it's too much for just these two girls that are just trying to figure out their way through life who aren't even doing it full time. We have to partner with someone. Let's think about some sort of space that already exists that we can collaborate with. And then let's pitch that idea to them. And then we leverage our strengths and leverage their strengths.
And in that same conversation, I had that spark of genius. I was like, Marina. Because funny thing is, for our 1-year anniversary, we hosted our event here in this same space that we have now built. And I met Marina because she came to one of my events and she was telling me how she has this huge business center in Latifa Tower that we can use for an event, and also that she has podcast studios. And then we went to do some recordings there in return for the space, and then we saw the studio. You really liked the studio, and then Lamide kept recording there as well. So I was like, Marina has a space.
Marina had just said to me maybe a couple weeks beforehand, like, you come so much. If you have a way for us to partner, we'd love to partner with you. And I remember thinking, I'll think about that. But I didn't have any ideas.
It wasn't there at the time.
So I was like, yeah. And
it was like light bulb moment. Yeah, light bulb moment. And we were like, Marina would be the best partner because she has a space that can be used for events and co-working space. She has podcast studios. She's already in the arena. She knows the game. Let's speak to her. We know her personally. Let's speak to her. We got on a call with her the next week. And then we pitched it to her and she was like, that's so interesting because she's been thinking about bringing the studio here, and she had other communities coming to her asking for something, but she hadn't seen a fully fledged idea like ours.
So that pitch deck again, that took us ages to do. We did also present it to her as well.
And then, it took a few weeks of negotiating, thinking about how that would work, the reality of it. We met in person, came to see the space. And then within 2 months, we were like, okay, now we're ready to go. Let's go.
Yeah.
Then we decided on what that would look like, what our agreement looks like. And then we were like, okay, let's go. Now let's pick a date to open. Let's find an interior designer to get the space done. And within 3 months now, we're opening.
Bruh.
Crazy.
And people are so shocked because they're like, every time they're like, oh, so when's it opening? They're expecting to hear like, oh, 2026, maybe 2027.
Q3.
And we're like, next month.
Next month.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
7 days.
Literally.
Saturday. So yeah, and I think that is just a lesson in like, even if you have the vision, but you don't know the exact steps to get there, hold on to the vision. And you just, like, the steps to get there is the journey that you figure out. And like, there's no one route to it. Like, if you have to change left, right, and center, but you kind of know where you're going, keep going towards that North Star. But the journey may not look like what you think it will look like.
Absolutely. We would have never figured out that this is what we would have ended, how this would have opened.
Yeah.
We were thinking of getting a warehouse in Alcouz with Stephen Bartlett's money. So, you know, we came very, very far from that idea. But at the same time, the North Star stayed the same. We built a space for the community. We want them to come here, work, collaborate, meet other people, attend events. Plus, we have these 2 podcast studios that we want people to use. And we have our own office.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I think it's only all started to be more real like in the last month. Because when we kind of like agreed, and when big things are happening, I don't think sometimes we would be like, can you believe we're opening a space?
Yeah, we kept saying it, but then...
And then we'd be like, okay, but we need to do this. Then after a while, we're like, we're going to have our own office. Then it's like, okay, but this.
But anyway, we have to do this.
And like, you don't see it happening until everything comes together and you're like, wow, like we actually did this. This was on paper and now it's alive. Here. It's here. We're sitting in it.
And you know what's crazy is because when I went to the designer meeting and I saw the 3D pictures of it and stuff, I was like, is this real? I was like, is this what it's going to look like? And then especially the reception, when I walked in and I saw it for the first time, I was like,
wow,
holy moly, it's happening. Wow. It's here.
Yeah.
And I think the day it hit both of us was the day when I came into the workspace and I FaceTimed you to show you the whole place. And you were like, oh my God, the chairs are here, the tables are here. And I was like, oh damn, because I was here every day buying the chairs. So even for me, it didn't click because it's just tasks that you are ticking off the list. And then you're like, damn, it's here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I hope that is a lesson for you guys in terms of, one, understanding more about the space and what we want it to be, but then also like how big goals are achieved.
Yeah.
Like, it's really just a sum of really small things, but also pulling together the right people, because neither of any of the parties involved could have done this alone. Absolutely to this standard. No. There's just no way that we couldn't have done this without the people we are partnering with. They couldn't have done this without us and our vision. And we just hope that, you know, it continues to grow into, you know, a space, a community, in the way we wanted it to be, and maybe even more locations, bigger locations.
Absolutely. And I think definitely, just to go back to what you said, I think we've done very well in finding people who kind of like balance out who we are and what we know, what we don't know.
Yeah.
And even between us, the way we've split up the task is based on your strengths and my strengths. So we basically have the expert for every part of the business that we need. So then it's not one person doing it all, which is why it's such a good team and everyone fits in very perfectly with each other. And we've managed to pull this out. So
it reminds me of the quote, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Click, click, click.
Clack it.
Click it.
So yeah.
Amazing.
Any last words you want to give to the people?
Last word I want to give to people is don't be scared of your big ideas. This was a big idea for us. And in less than a year, we made it happen. Not because we got lucky, mostly because we put in the work. We tried things. We did not give up. And we just kept thinking. And also, you know, you have to be flexible. I think we were very flexible along the way. Whenever there were, you know, hurdles, we thought, is this something I really care about? Do I need this? Oh no, okay, let it go. Because you also need to be able to be flexible and adapt to the new situations. And it's possible. Everything is possible. And honestly, I feel like one thing both of us have learned since moving to Dubai is it's whatever you want to achieve is possible here. You need to find the right person, the right idea, and you need to work hard.
Get a team, guys. Get a team.
Yeah, get a team.
Get a team. Get a co-founder.
And you know where you can find them? Here
at the Pen, we have a community of women for you and men, potentially.
The few men.
For you to connect with and find people who are like-minded, who you can build things with, because it's so much better building with other people, because then you could just... Remember the meme I sent you about how I go to bed?
I was like, I know. It was how I go to bed knowing that my co-founders are there hustling so we become millionaires.
Oh, that's so funny. But yeah, honestly, this couldn't have been done without everyone. So well done to you.
Thank you.
And all the... Where's mine?
Well done to you too.
And all the team that has helped put this together. And yeah.
Guys, please come see the space.
Join our membership. Join the membership for the space. Meet people. There's going to be events, lots of surprises for our members. So definitely do join. And especially if you're a content creator or a podcaster,
it's a no-brainer.
You can literally just walk into the studio, record content and go back to work. So it's a no-brainer. Definitely join our membership.
And you can even book a tour if you want to see the place before you make a decision.
Or you can also get a day pass. You want to test things out for the day? We also have a day pass options available. If you're not even based in Dubai, but when you do come to Dubai, maybe for one day you want to do some work, then book the workspace.
Done. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here. And you can watch all of our content on the channel.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye.